We're on.
You win some, you lose more.
The Hollywood Hawks down the sliding Swans as Alfred is in full flow up in Queensland. Wow, there is a big, big sound in the west of town as we hear Eddie Maguire complaining about Collingwood having to travel in the opening round.
Whoa.
Welcome to AFLW Today. I am your host, Alex Donnelly, for the opening round wrap. Well, it's really 2 games, so we'll get into it. Anyway, as said, I am your host. I am joined by a man whose team did not lose this week. It's the stats guy, Lee McAllion.
Yeah, you're technically right. We didn't play, so happy days. I didn't have to watch North Melbourne. I'm very excited to watch North Melbourne next week. Jeez, that intro, you're a poet or something. No, you're writing stories now. What's going on?
I just want to beat Jared Waitley on AFL 360.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to do this year is just be the better opening guy. We will also have better graphics than Fox Footy, just saying.
Jared Waitley's pretty damn good.
He's great. Yeah. But as said, technically correct is the best kind of correct, as we also have learnt. But we are brought to you by Tab here on AFLW Today, and their AFL's missed by 1. If your disposals leg misses by 1, Tab will still pay you out as a winner. Download the Tab app today. What are you really gambling with? All right, tonight, the games have just ended. Well, the game today has just ended literally in the last 15 minutes. So we'll wrap up both games from Sydney in opening round, touch on some news, SuperCoach chat, have a look at some markets from TAB, best team of the round, best player of the round, all that good stuff. We're just tweaking some little things this week. Obviously notable by his absence, who will usually be here every Sunday, is Leo Mullally. I just assume lids off, shirts off.
Yeah, we haven't even heard from him since Friday after the Hawks have won. I think he's going to come into the office 100% in your face with his Hawks jersey. That's for sure.
That's all right. I copped not an abusive barrage, but just a barrage of text messages from our boss, the Overlord Adam, over the weekend just about it. I did say to him Hawthorn would win. I was the only one on this show to have tipped Hawthorn.
Yeah, but that was I reckon that was the reverse jinx.
No, we'll get into it when we get in that game wrap. But anyway, we need to take a quick look, stats man. Go for it.
All right. Quick look. Pendles, obviously, he's an all-time great. He wasn't great today, though, but we'll touch on that. He moves to 4th all-time in AFL games, which is pretty cool. He's he's 407 games, and then you've got, obviously, Boomer Harvey, number 1. I love it. I love Boomer. What a legend. 432. Is there a chance that he can catch him?
He's not getting another, 25 games this year. He would have to play.
I'm saying next season. Yeah, if he plays next season.
Off today's evidence, no.
Today's evidence, no. Before today, because he was still solid last year.
I still thought this year would be his final.
Yeah, so I don't know if he's going to catch, but still awesome that he's moved up to 4th. I'll touch on a few other things before we touch on it. I'm going to have an argument and you'll be fired up after this. This one is Charlie Curnow is ruled out of round 1. So Blues fans are going to be absolutely filthy with that because...
Or is it's smart because it's Richmond?
That is also true. I didn't even think about that. But Blues fans probably want to see Charlie Curnow kick 12 against Richmond. But
I agree.
You're right. They shouldn't need Charlie Curnow, but it would be a very Blues thing to do.
As evidenced by a team who played well in the preseason against Richmond, how they went today, I wouldn't be too concerned.
Yeah, fair. And then the Blues as well, they'll be happy about this at least. Camporelli is going to debut. He looked really good. Lucas Camporelli, yeah, there's 2 twins, but Lucas is the one that's debuting. I think the other one's injured, or he was
I think
injured.
he is too.
So that would have been cool if they both debuted. But
and Nick Haynes is down to debut as well.
Nick Haynes?
From GWS. He's now at
Carlton.
Carlton.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's there now.
I just thought he retired. He's that's so weird to me.
Yeah.
I thought he retired. He's going to debut. Then some other ones. We got Peter Wright. Something.
Yeah, he's got a grade 1 ligament strain, according to those that were watching him play yesterday, and I think Tom Morris reported on as well. So that's not great for Essendon heading into round 1.
He was pretty...
He was average last year, but
year.
he's a best and fairest, like a top 3 best and fairest player in the past. He can kick 40, 50 goals.
2 meter Peter.
Not great.
No, he's got a great nickname.
It's a good nickname.
Yeah, 7 litre. 7-seater, 2 meter, everything just works.
Sure, stats guy, sure.
I was just going to keep going. What else rhymes with 2 meter Peter? I'll get back to it.
All right, good. So what was the deal with a game that ended before 6 p.m. and a yellow footy going on today?
I love that I watched the whole game and until you wrote down yellow footy there, I couldn't even tell you. If it was a pink footy, I wouldn't have even noticed.
It's the first thing I noticed. It was bright and sunny in Sydney today. They just throw up this yellow footy. It's like, the Sean Dyche utter woke nonsense.
I just reckon you turn on the TV and just go, there's always something little.
Do I find the random things to be annoyed about?
Yes, I feel like that's your go-to thing. Maybe we should have a segment. Actually, I'm calling it now. Alex's random thing that he saw this weekend, and that's a little segment.
Okay,
is that a good idea?
This week it was the footy.
There we go, yellow foot. But I agree with you on this one for once. Why is there a yellow footy during the game?
I would understand if it was the game that started at 3:20 p.m. in the middle of July. Of course, it's going to be dark by 6 o'clock.
Yep.
It's March. It's daylight savings in Sydney. It doesn't get dark till like 7:30.
That's very weird.
Yeah.
I love a yellow footy though, a lot better than a...
But it was so bright at the end of the game. They didn't need it.
Anyway, I agree. That is pretty weird. Yeah. And then lastly, this one is you're going to come up... people probably think that you've already come off the long run, but you're going to come off the long run on this. Check out our socials, AFL Today AU, Aussie Rules Today on Facebook. Alex has done a video all about this. The Fox Footy scoreboard. So even the Channel 7 scoreboard, the scoreboards in general.
Yeah.
No sport in the world is ever, the social media's popping off about a scoreboard, but everyone was talking
They did
about
about the Super Bowl.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. So
but
anyway.
AFL scoreboard, what the hell?
So obviously new season, new graphics. Every team's excited to run some stuff out.
Yes.
Firstly, Channel 7's is good.
Yeah, solid, yeah.
Just move it to the left of the screen. Don't put it in the middle. Just move it to the left.
Correct.
Because what happens in the middle of the screen? Footy.
Yeah, exactly. We just want to watch the footy. I don't want to watch it. You turn it on and you have to look past a graphic.
I'll tell you what I miss, Stats Guy. The Channel 10 in the top left-hand corner.
Yes.
You know who does the top left-hand corner, Stats Guy? Our beloved EPL.
Yes, they do.
We
the
love
EPL has the cleanest looking scoreboard.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're talking about yellow footies and scoreboards, but we are.
But then it's also, so Fox Footies just basically takes up a third of the TV in the bottom half.
Yeah.
Like the graphics today, the Sunday ticket thing looked blurry.
Yeah, I think the work experience kid drew that one.
So
Yeah.
I don't
know if I'm allowed to say that.
A theory that has been passed on to me is that Sunday ticket Friday night, or FNF as it was on Friday night, is going to be sold to a sponsor. So you might have like Chemist Warehouse or NAB in there.
That makes more sense.
Make more money. But then it's just like, it's too big. And then the problem on Friday night was I kept seeing silhouettes of Hutto, Jared Waitley, Jason Dunstall, and Gary Lyon pop up every 17 seconds, it felt
Well, you
like.
don't need to see their heads.
You see, if you pop it up like when there's a throw in at some point in the quarter, just to remind everyone, or if they're just tuning in, who the commentators
even
are.
need it.
But just once a quarter, it's fine. I get it. I felt like I saw it 30 times on Friday night. And it was just like, what are we doing?
They just need Gerald, our producer Gerald, behind the camera to make a graphic. There's going to be lots of cool graphics.
He's already overworked.
I'm not saying right now, in the late future maybe, because he is a beast at this. There's going to be graphics that are coming up on our show. That'd be easier for him.
Jared gets a vote here. Gerald gets a vote here. And he's like, no.
Yeah.
So, no. He's like, no, I'm good, man.
Anyway.
So, importantly, Stats Guy, we need to do the ladder check.
Oh, do we?
After 2 games. No, we really don't. But the most important thing out of this is, of all the teams that have played, Collingwood is last.
Yes, because of the percentage. Is that right?
Because
of percentage.
Because of
obviously.
percentage.
Yeah.
Importantly, Essendon, they're in the top 8. Well done, guys. You are 8th by not having played a game as of yet.
Because of alphabetical order.
Yeah. And the best news possible,
Stats
Stats
Collingwood
Guy.
actually have a percentage, so they're 4th, technically.
Yeah. So they're 4th of 4.
4th from 4.
That's what I mean. They're technically last.
Sort of.
And then in the best news ever, North Melbourne are 13th.
Yep. The fact that
After
you put
the first round of football, Stats Guy, North Melbourne are 13th.
Let's go. Let's stop the count.
That's upward trajectory.
I reckon we don't turn up for the rest of the season. Stay at 13. Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at the premiership market, of course, brought to you by Tab. So we were laughing during the week and talked about in the shows and in the office about everyone's going to overreact after the Swans and Hawthorn game, no matter what happens.
Absolutely.
Hawthorn are now your $7 premiership favourites with Tab to win the grand final this year. Talk about an overreaction.
They were second favourites, I think, around $9. So it hasn't changed that much. But the fact that they're favourites and people have obviously put more money on them, I don't mind that as a premiership pick because they looked really good, obviously.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're favourites, very inexperienced and all that, they might be right up there top 4 or things like that. But to win the premiership with this young team, that's a very tough ask.
Again, after one game and overreaction, the Sydney Swans are now $15 to win the AFL grand final.
Were they like $10 last week?
I think they were $10 or $12. Yeah. So
I think that's about right. If they have another grand final, they're going to get smashed anyway.
Fair.
Sorry.
After, it's fine. It's what happens. I'm
Actually,
used to
I'm
it
not
by
sorry.
now.
Stuff them.
Yeah. But of the 2 teams that we saw play this weekend, would you rather take $15 about the Sydney Swans to win the grand final or $11 Collingwood?
Oh, so
Collingwood is still $11 after just getting belted by 60 points and kicking 5 goals.
I reckon that will change during the week. I know you're just trying to get some something out of Sydney, but I agree.
No. But of those 2 teams, both of which lost, I put a gun to your head right now and say you need to have a bet.
Well, I still think Collingwood could win the flag. It's one game. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
In terms of if I'm going to put a lot of money
in terms of the overreaction. So,
yes. But Sydney at $15, definitely an overreaction. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, Brisbane's still your favourite, $7 with GWS next at $8. Geelong 10, Carlton somehow $10. I just can't believe that.
I don't mind that.
And then again, the overreaction. We go to the Brownlow medal.
Yes.
Will Day is now into $13 to win the Brownlow medal. Like, don't get me wrong, I thought he was very good, and he's probably going to get 3 votes on Friday night against the Swans.
Yep.
Nick Dacos is now out to $6 after playing 1 average game, and
he couldn't move.
He couldn't. Honestly, he looked like me this morning.
Yeah.
In fairness, I reckon I would have run a 10K quicker than him today.
Yeah, I think everyone would have.
49.57. Just saying.
Oh, that's
just
not bad.
saying.
That's very good.
It's wearing Vaporflies too.
Yeah, not a sponsor.
Yeah.
Can we get sponsored by Nike?
Nike,
cool.
please.
Yeah, we got Nike.
I'll wear your stuff. That's fine. It's great. But yeah, so Nick Dacos was $4 this morning, now out to $6. Hopefully Gerald has the Nick Dacos graphic. I asked him to do that. Please, Gerald. Patrick Cripps next at 11. Caleb Sarong at 12. Will Day 13. And the Heen man. Beautiful looking Heen man.
I still be
$18.
backing like the likes of Heaney, Warner, Sarong, who we mentioned at the start of the season, over Will Day at the moment. You need more of a sample size for Will Day because he's still a young guy. He still hasn't taken that leap to start. Obviously,
he looked bloody good in that
first half. As in he did in one game, but you need to do that for at least 10 games in a season, those type of games. But that first half is one of the best first half. It was 19 disposals and 3 goals.
It was like Heaney in opening round last year.
And then I think I saw a stat was Lockie Neal and Connor Rozee in the last couple of years. They did that exact stat line.
Oh, really?
Now he's done it as well. So he's in good company there.
All right, let's get to the game wraps of the weekend. Of course, we're going to start Friday night at the SCG. My beloved Sydney Swans 11-10-76 down by the Hawthorn Hawks 14-12-96.
Oh,
this was good.
Yeah.
This was a good game of footy.
At least we had one good game of footy this weekend because obviously the second one we'll touch on. But the first half especially was like goal for goal. It was the lizard running through. He
did that in the third quarter.
Oh, sorry, third quarter. But the fact, and then did you see the lizards in the crowd?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was these guys dressed as frill neck lizards for people that want to search that online. I love that. The crowd was up and about. I had a few mates actually that were at the game. It was very, very biased towards Sydney, as you want. They were fired up.
It's at the SCG, and there was 40,000 to start the season.
Exactly. So apparently it was rocking and just awesome. Yeah. So good effort. But yeah, the Hawks really, really surprised me in this one. Like the fact that they dominated that last quarter, they were awesome.
Yeah. So we'll sort of go through it. So Chad Warner kicks the first goal of the season. I think we need to talk about the first goal of the season. Yeah. Chad Warner just. In fairness, it felt like who else but Chad Warner.
Actually, my best bet of the game with Tab was 2+ for Chad Warner. It was 375, I think, got up. So happy days.
Stats guy winning money for the punters out there. Happy well days. Done to the stats guy. But Hawthorn, I thought they moved the ball out of clearance really easily. Will Day and Warple in that first half were just excellent. And just the way that there was a couple of times it was just tap down from Meek, Warple or Will Day straight out of clearance, straight into the forward line. Every time Hawthorn went forward, it felt like they were going to score. Yep. And then that sort of flipped a bit because then it was like every time the Swans went forward, they were going to score. But you go in at halftime, the Swans are 20 points down.
Yep.
And then they get back into the game. They get to 3 points down.
It was 3 points, wasn't it? Yeah.
And as Dean Cox said in his press conference post-game, very disappointing to get into that position. And then they let it slip. They had some opportunities. Yeah, obviously, it started running sideways towards the end of the third quarter.
Yep.
And they let it slip. But Hawthorn showed some composure. Sam Mitchell also moving the magnets around showed the tactical versatility that the Hawks are going to have throughout the year.
Yeah, I don't like him that much because I used to not. He was like that Hawks team with Hodgie, all those guys just on the field. They just had a bit of white line fever, but he was obviously a gun player. His tactic as a coach, and then I saw a few little clips from their doco. The way he coaches, it's like a family. He sort of gets into you and then brings you together. Then his tactics. Yeah, he's a really good coach, and he's only been coaching a couple of years. So.
3 or 4?
Yeah, I really, really like him as a coach. And I feel like Hawks fans are like, this is the man we need. Like, he's perfect for the Hawks.
How good did Lloyd Meek look in the ruck?
Oh, Lord Meek. If he
looks jacked.
I think the social media person bought him a piece in Scotland. You know, you can be a Lord. So
yeah, it's
he's technically Lord Meek.
My future mother and father-in-law.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Lords and ladies in Scotland.
Really?
Yeah, they had the same thing.
I want to get that so badly. Yeah, you just get a little bit of land. So he's technically Lord Meek. He was dominating Grundy.
Oh, he smashed him.
Grundy... Similar to last year, he just looks a bit off.
Grundy started the season like a house on fire and then faded.
So you want the opposite.
As a Swans fan, I'm hoping it's a slow build into the season rather than he looks old.
Yeah, he did look a little bit old. Lloyd Meek, I feel like Meek's still underrated. He dominated last year and people didn't really talk about him as much.
Top 5 in the comp. Gorn, Cherry, him, Big O.
No, he's better than Big O. Darcy Cameron's really good. He was really good today.
There's probably I'd say top 5. It's probably Gorn and Cherry are the top 2 clearly.
Meek's probably third right now.
But then there's a group that's like Cameron, Grundy at his best.
Yep. But Meek smashed him.
Yeah. Obviously Meek's going to be in there as well. I've probably forgotten Big O, and there's probably someone I've completely. If Sean Darcy's fit as well.
Sean Darcy, we don't give enough love to the ruckman. So
I love the tall boys.
They're just dopey and run around, and they get good taps, and they just clear. But
he snuck forward and kicks a couple of goals. There was one time he was just left on his own in space, and they just chipped it to him. It was just like, as a Swans fan, like, what are we doing? I thought Will Day in the first half was just like, just give him 6 votes. Yeah. Maybe 5 because Meekie deserved 1.
The umpires are already locked in their Brownlow votes in the first half.
But then obviously Dean Cox made the move at halftime, and James Jordan, not Jason, gave him the clamps in the second half because he only had 3 touches in the third quarter. Because you texted me like, "How good's Will David?" I'm like,
Yeah.
he's hardly touched it in the third.
Yeah,
mate.
I just realized I was sending it earlier and I didn't send it through properly. But James Jordan was really good.
Yeah.
I think he needed to obviously go to him earlier.
Yeah.
And I think he needs to be used as a tagger because he wasn't very good at getting the ball in the second half of last year. As a tagger, I think.
He had some pretty
he had some
good
games,
moments. Yeah.
But I think he could be really good as a tagger.
Yeah. And he's just one to watch, I suppose, for your super coaches and everything because he had like 100 points basically at halftime and he ended up with 148.
Oh, what a man.
Which is still great, but the second half tag, it's just...
Should have got 200. He had 200 in the bag there, sure.
Well, Carl Amon was brilliant off half back, obviously stepping inside, zigging and zagging. He looked great. That move from him, when he moved from Port to Hawthorn, everyone's like, what are you doing? Within 2 years, it's paid off.
Well,
looks like
he's just got to find
move.
some consistency, but he is so, when he's at his best, he's so quick. He can hit a target. He sent them inside, even in the last quarter, when sort of like some of the clutch moments, every time they were going inside 50, I was like, oh, Carl Amon's got another touch. I was like, how the hell has he got 27? He doesn't get like more than 20 very often. So, pretty
when
good.
you looked at it, do you think Hawthorn have arguably the best back six in the game when you think about it? Barras and Battle looked phenomenal. You got Sicily who's in there. Obviously, Amon's is able to transition out of there. And then there's a couple of blokes who you can sort of transition as well as small defenders that'll run off halfback as well.
Yeah, the fact that you can transition Sicily, who's an all-Australian defender, and you don't really need him down there at all times, means they are probably the best backline because we were talking about this on Thursday.
You also got Weddle and Impey down there as well.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Scrimshaw sort of floats around a little bit as well. So it's a bloody good defensive unit. Yeah, so it's good to see the Swans learn from the the John Longmire era into the Dean Cox era. By God, we're just going to bomb it out of our defensive 50 and hope for the best.
I was waiting for a bit of anger from you because you didn't play that bad, but the last quarter, it was just bombing out. Hawks are just like, here we go, we're just going to stand there and mark it every time.
I wanted to give the Hawks the plaudits because they were clearly the better team.
Yeah.
And we need to be more even. Like last year at times, we obviously weren't fully even with everything that we did. So obviously Leo's going to do that with Hawthorns. Hawthorn are very good.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, so last year, I remember when at the start of the season, round 0 last year, I said GWS were absolutely unbeatable against Collingwood.
Yes.
And I was just so confident.
Yep.
And I had the same thing about the Hawks. You're trying to do the reverse jinx. I thought Hawthorn would come into this game, obviously had a long, it's not by much, it's a couple of weeks.
Yep.
But they had a longer run into this game.
Mm-hmm.
They are a team that's trying to charge up the ladder and prove all the knockers and everyone who's been talking rubbish about them in the offseason, myself included, going, the Hollywood Hawks, whatever. But they simply wanted it more. They worked harder. They had more intent.
They had more in the tank as well. I think the commentators,
they did.
Even people on the radio today, I was driving back from the beach, they were like, the fitness on this team, I know that every team works hard. They're all fit, but they look fitter. They look faster, and I love that in the Hawks.
Well, they took 21 intercept marks. The Swans hardly took any. They took more contested marks, more marks inside 50. So that's all the ticks for Hawthorn as well. Go to the Swan side of things. Chad Warner was brilliant.
Yeah, if you didn't have Warner, that could have been like a lot worse, I reckon. He was really good because every time you got back into it, it was partly the Lizard a bit in the third quarter, but it was Warner just getting you forward, getting some clearances.
Heaney did have 10 clearances. He had the most in the game.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
I didn't realize he had 10. Jeez.
Yeah. Joel Amartey and Tom McCartan.
Oh, I said that all last year. Your tall forwards. Oh, McCartan obviously was.
He's a defender. He took 7 marks, kicked a goal. Good for him. Joel Amartey.
Good for him.
Joel Amartey in some contests looks like he could be the best forward in the game.
I know.
And then 7 seconds later looks like the weakest tall forward in the game.
As a neutral.
He's frustrating to watch.
As a neutral, when he first got onto the scene, it was like, Amartey party, everyone's got the signs, Amartey party this, Amartey party that. Where's the party? Just kick a couple of goals. Do something cool. Sorry.
He has kicked 3. But he's had a good night.
Just be better.
But
he needs to be better.
He's good.
Sorry, I did kick 3.
He's good is very good.
Yeah.
He's a guy that can kick 50 goals this year. I'm not going to be shocked.
It's true.
His good is very good. His bad is the worst player on the field, which is unfortunate. He needs to minimize those games where he can be a 10 or he could be a 1.
Yeah. Sorry.
He needs to play a minimum of, I know forwards have a bad game now and then. He needs to get his bad games from a 1 to a 4.
Yes. No, I agree.
Like even that GWS game where he didn't have a touch in the semi-final or qualifying final last year, he still kicked the goal, still contributed, still did a bit. He still needs to get those, he's taking 3 or 4 marks.
Yeah, because you guys need, just say you do bomb it out. at times.
We need
you need a guy that's
going
to mark it. That's the simple.
It's usually Hayden McLean, but obviously still injured, still far off from what I'm hearing.
Yep.
In a shock to no one, Taylor Adams did his hamstring.
Oh, he's done, isn't he?
I said this when he came across to the Swans 18 months ago. I was like, why are we getting a guy who's near enough to 30 with hamstring issues?
Yep. And he gets injured every time he plays now.
And he looks shattered. You feel bad for him.
Yeah, he's
a great dude.
Yep, I've heard that.
Feel really bad for him about that. My boy Beef Sheldrick.
Beef. There's a lot of hype around Beef. Oh, damn it.
Slow cooked beef is better than flash cooked beef.
I've heard you say that 3 times already, but it's not bad.
We're going with the slow cooked beef here on this show. I thought Matty Roberts was good. Hanley, when he came on as the sub, he is absolutely starting next week.
He was good.
Well, he just comes in for Adams, you'd think.
Yep.
And Payton looked like he was going to get torn to shreds early by good half forward that should be an All-Australian for Hawthorn. I've completely spaced on his name right now. Dylan Moore, yes. Dylan Moore was going to kill him in the first 10 minutes, but he worked in the game well. He was pretty good at the end.
He was solid, yeah.
The Wizard became a muggle.
Look at all these little things you're bringing out on this show today.
Samuel J. Wicks, I don't know if that's his middle name. I'm just making that up
like
right
Homer
now.
J. Simpson.
Yeah, exactly. In his first ever game as a small defender, taking over from Harry Cunningham, who is probably one of the more underrated lockdown small defenders in the league. No one ever talks about how good Harry Cunningham is. Like, Charlie Cameron's had one good game on Harry Cunningham in 3 years. Like, this guy is elite.
No, I think who decided Wicks to go back? Probably Coxie, right? So that's a big. I know he didn't win, and there was a few things he could have adjusted. But the fact that you've got that guy that can lock down a small forward, that's such a big
playing on Charlie
thing.
Cameron next week.
There's I think they were talking about it as well. There's so many good small forwards in the comp right now. You need a guy like that. So that's good.
Well, yeah, because Cunningham has done that to he did that to Brent Daniels last year, gave him a bath all 3 games.
Yep.
Toby Green a couple of times too when he did play on him. Charlie Cameron a few times. So to lose that kind of player, I was a bit worried. Wicks kept the Wizard to 4 touches, 3 free kicks against.
What are you doing,
and
Wizard?
No effective disposal. While Wicks had 18 and 4 score involvements. I thought on a night for Sydney where there wasn't a lot of highlights, Sam Wicks,
that's a big tick.
as a bloke who was on the outer looking in for many reasons, has put his name forward as someone who's Harry Cunningham's going to have to fight to get back into that position.
Yeah, true. But could you fit both? You could, right?
Probably not.
You don't reckon?
Nah.
Because Cunningham was really good. So that'd be weird. It might even be like a couple of weeks and see if Wicks can do it consistently. If
Cunningham's still in a boot.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the Liz Frank.
That's right. The what?
The Liz Frank injury.
What's that?
It's an ankle injury.
Oh, yeah.
Foot and ankle.
I haven't heard that one.
Anyway, did you see Jack Ginnivan with the book pre-game?
Oh, he's...
Did you see that?
I didn't know he read. Yeah, there you go.
Do we not think that's a bit rough?
Yeah, I didn't mean that.
Do we not think this was him? Like, he knew what he was doing, walking onto the ground with a book before the first game of the season.
I don't mind that. There's a few NBA players that do that. They sit next to the court and they have a read. I don't mind that. Yeah.
I mean, but it's not like you walk from your change room over to the far side.
Was he just trying to for the media? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Just trying to go, oh, look at me. I'm reading a book. I don't know. But I don't care that much about that too much.
And I've got a big call about Hawthorn to end this. First of all, Hawthorn were fantastic, deserve to win everything else.
Oh, he's got to say
They will not win the premiership with Marbior Chol playing in their forward line.
Oh,
looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane.
Yep, correct.
What was with the Durack?
Jane would be good in the AFLW.
Yeah, Jane would be sick. But honestly, what are you doing, Marbior? Like, he crashes contest. He hardly gets near it. If you take out Marbior and put Mitch Lewis in, a fit Mitch Lewis,
fit.
Game over.
That is a tongue twister. Fit Mitch Lewis.
A fit Mitch Lewis, yes.
Mitch Lewis.
Marbior Chol is not, this is like last year with McDonald, McLean and Amadi.
Yep.
Marbior Chol is that.
I agree. He has moments. He's very similar to Amadi. As at times you go, he's just set us up for 3 goals. He's kicked a couple of goals himself, but he's lazy and he's not going to be that forward pressure which the Hawks need as well. So I honestly don't mind that. That's a good call.
Marbior had 9 disposals. He did kick a goal.
Yeah, but he wasn't impactful. I agree with that one. But
wouldn't have noticed he didn't play.
Other than him, though, I can't say that almost everyone in their team had an impact. That's how good they were playing.
Except for the Wizard.
Except for the Wizard.
And Frosty when he came on. Frosty was...
Leo always says he's good. He is so bad.
Frosty was thawing out.
Yeah. What is the little...
Hey, that got producer Gerald to laugh. That means it was a good one.
I've got a few laughs in today.
All right, how are the fan base is feeling? Swans fans are, for me, not completely unexpected.
Okay.
I still think we're going to start 0-3. Brisbane haven't been able to train since Wednesday. So,
the Cyclone.
Yeah.
That looks so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So you're telling me there's a chance we can beat Brisbane because they haven't been able to kick a footy for 5 days?
They'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think they'll be fine. But, yeah, what was I going to say? I was going to say something about Sydney. Anyway, keep going.
I'm fine. I know some fans are a bit disgruntled. I'm cool.
Yeah, so actually that's what I was going to ask you. If you start 0-3, can you still win the flag?
Yes.
Will they lose a bit of confidence?
No,
or?
I think so. I was saying this in a group chat on Saturday morning when a few of my mates were like, and I was just like, I wouldn't be shocked after the bye because I think this Swans team is very good. That's going to slowly build in the season. Post bye, I looked at their fixtures. The Swans can easily go 8-2, 9-1, 10-0. Sounds like, you can't go 10-0. I was like, the Swans literally went 10-0 after round 4 last year.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you're still confident. All right.
Yeah,
fair enough. It's only one game anyway.
I'm not going to tip the Swans to win the grand final. I think they are a definite top 6, top 4 team.
Yep. No, I agree with that.
And Hawks fans, they're just like, sick.
Well, Hawks fans...
They're happy that the talk's been backed up.
Because, I thought that game was 50-50. The fact that they, dominated the last quarter and, I know it was only 20 points, but it was, a pretty convincing win in the end.
Yep.
They'll be up and about because they're like, Hokball wasn't just 1 year, it's still going. Hokball is still rolling. So they'll be very, very excited.
Let's get to Sunday at NG. But actually, before we do that, we're going to take a short break, Stats Man. I jumped ahead on the run sheet. We're going to take a short break to hear from our sponsors and we'll be back after this to wrap up the game at NG, which is GWS versus Collingwood.
Tonight's game's going to be epic.
Missed by one on the AFL? With Tab, you can stay in the game. Miss by one on any disposals leg and Tab will still pay you out as a winner. Tab. We're on.
Imagine what you could be buying instead.
All right, let's get to today's game. Sunday, if you're watching this on Monday. NG Stadium, GWS 15-14 defeated Collingwood 6-16-52.
Oh,
it's almost like beating Richmond in the preseason isn't good form.
No.
Stats guy, take us through this.
Oh, my God. This game... I was so confident on the Pies. I think a lot of people were. You had so many injuries. You were. Everyone was. The GWS had no Hogan. They had no Stringer. Who else was missing? Tom Green, probably their best midfielder, one of their best midfielders of all time.
Briggsy nearly died.
Everything was going wrong for the Giants. The 90% of the crowd was Collingwood. It was just mayhem over there. But the Giants I think it was to do with their game plan. They started off really well. Sam Taylor got the opening goal. I've chucked this in there. He got the opening goal of the game, second goal of his career because he got a 50 at the start of the game. And then he was just awesome. So second goal of his career, he was fired up. Really good intercept marking. I think one stage he had 5 intercept marks in the first quarter and a half. They were saying he's on track for the record. I don't think he ended up getting the record, which is 10. I think it's Tom Stewart. But he was really good. Bobby Hill looked really good early. I thought Bobby Hill, I think he had 4 goals twice in the preseason. So I was like, he's going to pop up for a few. He went missing in the second half, as did all of Collingwood. They literally kicked 6 goals, 16. Kick it through the big sticks, Pies. Come on. They just couldn't hit a target in the end.
They had, at one point, in the third quarter, they had 16 inside 50s for 4 behinds.
Oh my God, really?
And I've got Collingwood fans yelling, if we'd made the most of those opportunities, we would have, put more pressure on them. But the Giants have ended up blowing them away. Expected score is wild. Expected score is GWS 87.7, Collingwood 85.2. So GWS still win, but at halftime it was 60-40 the other way.
AFL XG, because that's obviously different to some other sports. Does that come into inside 50s?
No, that comes to where you're taking the set shot from, the degree of difficulty of it, and all those things. Yeah.
So, but the Giants, I'm going to say this the whole time. I know this was a crap game. It was obviously almost 52 points. You never want to see that in an AFL game, especially the second game of the season. But the Giants' tactics, I really believe, were really smart. They just all got back in defense. The amazing tackling pressure, that the orange tsunami that they say, they're all just tackling. Every single one of their players, the smalls, the bigs, were just tackling. They just looked really good.
A bit of spice in this game too.
Yeah, there was. So
they literally do not like each other.
No, they've had a lot of really close games. Dacos usually fires up. We'll touch on him in a second.
He got Bedford.
Yes.
He got Bedforded.
Yeah, and then he got just every injury.
Got Tobied?
Tobied, yeah.
Tobied?
Uncle Tobied.
Whatever.
But there was a lot of beef between the players. And then McRae and Kingsley were sort of going at each other.
I would like to see Craig McRae step up to Kingsley and you go, what are you going to do, mate?
Kingsley literally has the biggest arms in the business. And then Craig McRae is probably about my size. His name's Fly for a reason because he's tiny. So
Kingsley what you're saying is Kingsley would swat him.
Yep. Oh, what is with the references in this
I am on today.
I'm all for Harry Potter.
Who would have thought my horse got beaten a lip in a $150,000 race today? Not me!
The dad jokes are coming left, right, and centre.
That's what happens when you get engaged, man. It's just downhill.
Oh, there we go. Hopefully your partner's not watching that.
Yeah, hopefully. Finn Callaghan was great. He's probably kicked the goal of the year in round 0. But in fairness, just like the finals, round 0 doesn't count because it's not really part of the season. So sorry.
Well, you're saying goal of the year doesn't count in round 0?
Well, if it doesn't count in the finals, it doesn't count in round 0.
Oh, I reckon that's a bit stiff. But yeah, I reckon we talk a little bit more on the Pies because I'm just I'm really disappointed. I had them as
Oh.
flag favourites. I think they're going to be really good. They just didn't have enough options up forward. Membry looked really slow. I know that's his first game in a while.
No, they looked old.
They looked old.
They literally looked old.
Talking about old, Penderbury looked like he wasn't up with the pace of the game. There was just a few guys in the team. Sidebottom wasn't amazing. He got a fair bit of the ball. The one thing I really liked was Josh Dacos, halfback. He was really good. He set him up a lot of the time. And then you got, obviously, Nick Dacos. He looked absolutely cooked. I literally brought, every person I bring in my SuperCoach side at the moment, we'll just get injured. Like, everyone's getting injured at the moment.
Plantar fasciitis and not having a full preseason. Like, that's literally what that is. Because he wasn't running the whole way through preseason. Like, you've still got that. And then you sort of also look at, because we've talked about this with Collingwood. If they don't get it right this year, the future for them is incredibly bleak. Outside of Nick Dacos, you sort of go look through their drafting from 2020 to this. So in 2020, so I'm going to quickly read out to you their round one picks from 2020 onwards.
Okay.
So in 2020, they had Ollie Henry, no longer there. Finn McRae and Reef McInnes.
Okay.
Not great?
No, not great at all.
Obviously, Nick Dacos.
Oh, he's all right.
Yeah, he's worked out well. Josh Carmichael.
Who?
Ed Allen.
Oh, he could still be all right, but yes.
Harry Demiata.
Oh, DiMattia.
DiMattia. Sorry, I can't spell. I can't talk.
He's not really. Yeah, he's not.
And then you look, obviously, they brought in John Noble in the mid-season draft. They've brought in Quaynor in a mid-season draft.
Yeah, so they're all chips in for this year, obviously, because some of their recruiting hasn't been great. I'll give you that.
Well, no, they've just tanked all their draft picks. I know they've got a McGuan who's going to expected to be like a top 5 pick this year.
Yep. But they're a bit cooked after this year.
Mate, they've got no one young that's decent. And that was my thing pre-season.
Yeah.
I'm like, if these old dudes fall off a cliff, because you talked about this in the pre-season where the older age list demographics have proven to be quite good.
Yes.
How many guys in the Geelong team 2 years ago, in the Brisbane team last year, were actually over 30?
I'll look into that.
Yeah, we can look into that, but it's like actually over, like if you're like 29, 30, bit different. If you're 32, 33, that cliff comes really quickly. Like it's the old leave the game before the game leaves you. And for a few of these Magpies players this year, it could happen. And people who aren't Collingwood believers, one of them being myself.
Yes.
I took that view going, your profile doesn't look great. And then someone's like, oh, well, maybe it's too hot in Sydney. It's been the hottest summer on record in Melbourne.
They're all like fit athletes. You can't say that. They're all cramping. I know that happens in the first game of the season usually. The only thing I'll say is I think I'm not going to overreact because I still think Collingwood would be good. It's for the first game of the season. Literally, wasn't the Richmond beat Sydney last year and then they made the grand final.
Yeah.
Like things like that are going to happen.
After the Swans lost to Richmond, they went 10-0.
Exactly. So as if Collingwood fans are watching this, I still think they will be really good. They just needed to kick their goals, not miss their easy chances, and they could have been in this game because GWS just ran away with it. The Pies just looked cooked at the end. That's the only reason it got to 52. It probably would have been about 30 or so, and then, anyway.
Yeah.
But Giants did look really good. They looked so fast on the counter-attack. Darcy Jones with his helmet. We need more helmets.
Jeez, his head would have been warm.
I know. In 26 degrees wearing a helmet, that's not easy.
Yeah, but also, like we talked about the GWS defense working so well. Aaron Cadman, if you kick straight, this could have been a different story. The bloke couldn't kick straight or take a mark whatsoever. Finn Callahan was fantastic.
I had him in my multi-Cadman. He cost me.
There's out of this, like Toby Green was at his mercurial best. He was everywhere. Harry Himmelberg, I thought, had a good game. And Whitfield, good game. Not amazing, but it's like,
solid,
yeah. And
solid.
Then, Josh Kelly did pop up with 36 touches too.
We were talking about defense. I think you were saying Hawks are the best defense. Giants looked really good as well.
Which is really funny because 2 weeks ago against Carlton in that practice, I was like, this is their best defense.
I was looking. They were talking about it on the radio as well that they're not the best preseason team, the Giants. So maybe they just fire up for the
so poor.
Maybe they just didn't try.
I know it's that, but it's like you look so poor. As when Hawthorn had played Western Bulldogs, you could tell that they were sort of messing around, trying out a few different things. GWS against the Swans and Carlton looked like they were trying. They just got blitzed.
True.
So I'm not. Some teams maybe it's a bit of a different thing. Also, some load management things. But for Collingwood, hooey.
Oh, they'll be fine. I reckon it's one game.
Yeah,
don't worry, Pies fans.
Yeah, but you don't want to get dusted by 60 points in the first game.
It just looked bad because even percentage wise, right? This is going to be a really close season. They dropped their heads in the last quarter and just got smashed. So not good.
So Collingwood play Port Adelaide on Saturday night at the G.
Ooh.
Oh my God! Can I just firstly complain? I want to get this out of the way right now. No, as I've just noticed that, so I haven't really looked at round one scheduling.
Sure.
Saturday night at the MCG, 7:35. Collingwood take on Port Adelaide. Sure to be 70, 80,000?
Yep.
5 minutes across town, the Western Bulldogs play your beloved North Melbourne at 7:30.
I feel like we should touch on that in the midweek show. But yes, there's the fact that there's 2 games in Melbourne at the same time is very dumb because a neutral fan could have gone to either of those games and get, like, especially North versus Bulldogs, who don't have big fan bases. That's very dumb.
But it's like, I know you probably can't play Adelaide and St Kilda at the same time as Port Adelaide are playing. You can't. So, and then you look, the game in the afternoon is Melbourne versus GWS. The Swans wanted to play Brisbane at 4:15. I mean, you could have played, because that's the other game. And Geelong are playing Freo at 1:20. Again, this could buy into my theory about it's 10 a.m. in Perth, so Freo could still be half asleep for the first quarter.
No.
That could be
I hope the AFL players are up. They're up early. They're running around like you probably.
Anyway, let's get back to the GWS Collingwood game.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, how the fan base is feeling out of the GWS and Collingwood. GWS fan base is like,
we're awesome.
What choke job? Huh? Look at us now.
I'm going to talk about that again, them again later. But the fact that they won, no one gave them a chance. So awesome effort.
Collingwood fan bases, from what I'm seeing online, are like, it's okay. Dacos wasn't fit. DeGoey.
Houston's a massive
Dan Houston, but
week.
it's like 50 points though.
It shouldn't have been 52 points, but I think not panicking.
Collingwood fans are either burning it all down or they're like eternally optimistic. There's no real in between with Collingwood fans.
Yeah, I think that's all the time.
And it's like, goddamn, why can't we kick straight?
It's also not even round 1. It's the opening round. It doesn't count.
Good. Swans didn't lose then.
Oh, yeah. Actually, wait. No, it does count.
All right, let's get to the tipping results from the weekend.
Nah, I'm good.
I only want to tip a winner. Hawthorn. This guy.
Oh, that's not good, is it?
Stats guy, 0 from 2. Leo, 0 from 2. Marcus, 0 for 2.
If we had 9 games, I would have got at least 7, I reckon. Because I just would have got those 2 wrong and I would have got the other 7.
Call the season off right now. I'm your tipping champion for 2025.
You're literally on 1. Yeah.
That's
fantastic. The fact that all the rest of us went 0-2. No good, but that's okay.
Yeah. Good job, me. Good job, me. I'm so proud of me right now. Anyway, let's get to it. Full credit. Best team of the round. Well, it's one of the 2 winners. So you're going...
I'll go the Giants. I'll start with them. I thought, literally just what I touched on then. The fact that they won, backs against the wall. Got a little stat for you. I don't have often too many stats, but we've got one for you for once. They were missing 146 goals from their side that they had last year. So Jesse Hogan, Jake Stringer, and Jake Riccardi, all really solid forwards. They kicked 102 points against the Pies still without 3 of their solid forwards. Like, I wouldn't say Riccardi's, he's a bit in and out, but 146 goals from last year, and they still got 102 points because all their younger guys were stepping up and things like that. So good effort. Yeah.
Well, mine's obviously Hawthorn because they're the other team that won. I think we've talked them up enough. They're obviously premiership favourites right now. I do like that stat from you though. So I think I'm putting you on the spot right now. Every Sunday, you have Stats Guy Sunday stat.
I'm happy with that.
Because then it's also like, because we do call you the stats guy. And if people who are watching this for the first time are like, why is he called stats guy? He doesn't bring stats. So if we have your segment once a week.
Sounds good.
Got to keep the people happy.
Yep. That's all we want to do.
All right, let's get to it. Best on ground of the weekend. It's clearly Sam Wicks, right? No, kidding. It's the other defender named Sam. It's Sam Taylor.
Sam Taylor.
Oh boy, he's good. I love Sam Taylor. He's honestly,
he looks like Superman as well.
Top 5 favorite player in the non-Swans division.
Non-Swans division. Top 5.
Yep.
He's probably up there for me too. I don't mind a few of the Giants players, and he like I was saying before, their defense is held by him, and he's a
Josh Tracy being another one.
Okay.
Yeah, big Josh Tracy guy. Big Josh Tracy guy.
Don't mind that. And then
Connor, I'd have to think about it. Connor Rose's in there as well.
That could be a segment. We're just thinking about segments again.
It's what we do. It's the pre-production meeting as we're going. Who's your stats, man?
My best on ground of the week, I think it's pretty obvious. The best first half in a long time. Will Day, 26 disposals, 3 goals, 9 clearances, 6 tackles. What more do you want from him? It was unbelievable. I thought that he was going to take a step. I didn't know he could take that big of a step. I didn't know he had like a 3-goal game in him from the midfield. I knew he had the clearances. I knew he had the pressure with the tackles, and I knew he could get around that 26 disposals, 25 disposals plus. But with Tab and things like that, I'll be looking at a few bets on him in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
Unless he gets tagged again, but maybe he'll be able to shake
disposals
the tag.
Yeah.
But he was absolutely awesome. He was best on ground, especially in that first half. He got tagged in the second half, but he is the reason that the Hawks were staying in it, and then the reason they got that 20-point lead.
So let's go back to your big calls from the weekend
that
you did on Thursday. Leo's got it miserably wrong.
What did he say?
The Dacos brothers combined for 65 disposals and 250 SuperCoach points. In fairness, Leo chips in on these big calls, so I rate it.
Yeah, he does.
You said Sicily kicks 4 in a nail biter. He went forward for 1 quarter, took 4 marks. I'll give you half a point.
Oh, I'll take half a point. You're being very kind to me.
Marcus, on behalf of Adam, said Nick Dacos would get injured and come off. I don't know how Adam's nailed that on behalf of Marcus, but credit to Adam. He's had a good weekend. He also tipped a winner as well, like on Hokball tickets during the week. So yeah,
very good.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the SuperCoach wash from the weekend. Darcy Cameron, if you are sort of struggling for some cash, I know Cherry's going to be the number one pick for most people. Darcy Cameron got a bunch of points today, like a lot of points.
I'll tell you how many.
As 164.
164. Obviously, who else have we got up there? Callahan 144.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very tempting.
So Finn Callahan's probably one that you need to look at. Matty Roberts looks like a great option.
Yeah, 124. I think Matty Roberts got. Obviously, you got to bring in guys that had a lower break even this week because you can bank in the points because. The prices go up from these games, even though they don't go towards your score. So, yeah.
So, a couple of the rookies today, Leak got 64 points.
Yeah,
and Connor Stone got 64 points as well. Sheldrick got 32. He might be out of my team.
I think because he'll probably be around that break even. They're usually around 30.
Break even was 30.
But you'd rather bring someone else same price. It's going to make you more money.
And Ben Payton got 67 for the Swans.
Oh, that's good.
So
you can bring him in,
I had him in already. And Perryman 93. If he sticks around that 90 average, I'll be happy for the season.
The biggest one is, though, Dacos. Like, even if he plays next week, or I'm not trusting him because he looks so unfit.
But if he doesn't play next week, that means he's going to get a building block of fitness into him.
Yep.
I know his break evens are going to be high, but you're not going to lose on him.
No, but I have him in my team as my captain right now. I'm taking him out.
Yeah, I wouldn't have him in my team.
Yeah, I'm taking him out now because he looks so cooked.
All right. That is us done for today on AFL Today. If you enjoyed today's episode, please make sure you subscribe to AFL Today on YouTube. Follow us on X, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for more footy content all season long. But make sure on YouTube you hit that subscribe button. So anytime we do anything, basically, there's a lot of videos that we do. It will come up on your feed. You'll get notified, all that. Make sure you do all that as well. Please subscribe and start to all of our shows on every podcast app you can find. Of course, cricket today with the boys. Is the Champions Trophy over yet?
The final is actually tonight between India and New Zealand. So very hard for our brothers over there.
Champions Trophy hosted by Pakistan with the final being in Dubai. Make sense of that.
Oh, it's the weirdest tournament ever. And Australia aren't in the final, so we don't have to care as much.
AFLW today will be back later in the year. Of course, Hold All tickets where a bunch of winners were tipped from the weekend by the boys. And of course, True Bloods for all of your Sydney Swan stuff. There is a bunch going on here, so make sure you get around us on all the socials because we have a lot coming your way. Spence, Social Girl Spence, is on her way to the F1 this week as well.
Yes, I'll be doing
check out Sports Today. Just Sports Today AU, I think, on all the platforms.
Yep.
So
Sports
if you
Today
want
Show, I think
Sports
as well.
Today Show, if you want your F1 content, check out that. We'll just chuck all the links in.
We're actually doing an F1 preview. I'm thinking that will go up on YouTube. I'll have to clarify, but there'll be lots of F1 socials this week.
If you click on the description of the show on YouTube, I'm pretty sure Stats Guy does throw in the link for all of that stuff.
Yeah, I think it goes in there.
There we go.
Gerald puts it in there.
Thank you for joining us tonight, Stats Guy.
Oh, thank you.
Of course, producer Gerald behind the camera doing a great job as always. And of course, thank you to our sponsors. We are brought to you by Tabs, Missed by One AFL. If your disposals leg misses by one, Tab will still pay you out a winner. Download the Tab app today. What are you really gambling with? Of course, coming up this week, the midweek madness leading into the opening round, aka round one of the AFL. I know, that's why I did it. A lot going on this week. Of course, Thursday night footy is back as well. All 9 games on ground, everything ready to go. Of course, Marcus Leo and the Stats Guy will be back on Thursday night for the team show. That was a good watch, actually. So good stuff on Thursday night, boys.
Thanks, mate.
We will see you on Wednesday for the midweek madness. Catch you then on AFL Today.
Tonight's game's going to be epic.
Missed by one on the AFL? With Tab, you can stay in the game. Miss by one on any disposals leg, and Tab will still pay you out as a winner. Tab, we're on.
Imagine what you could be buying instead.